Okay, lady, we have 1 minute, then we go on the broadcast. So we will move over now to the workshop phase of our program here today, and first anyway we will have a presentation from the initiative about the background and interests and so on by Päivi Halinen, and then we will continue into group work and so on. Thanks you so much for the discussions this morning. I think this is a good basis and ground for the upcoming discussions. One thing that was mentioned in the previous presentation here from Hannu was that, remember the, summer and winter times and so on, but definitely also remember the, let's say, off-season, Easter and spring too. Happen to have quite much connection in Spain, and according to the newspapers 3 weeks ago, one of the most attractive regions for tourism in Spain, probably also in Italy and Portugal is now the Nordic countries in summer and early autumns also. And I hope that we are ready to take these tourists from Spain and so on here. All right, Päivi, let's continue with your presentation on the initiative and as a basis for the workshop. And do remember, ladies and gentlemen, that this is just a short moment where we meet face to face, and already we have recognized the need to do these cooperations not only here in Jyväskylä region, but then together with international colleagues with experiences, and also quite sure that there are also other regions and stakeholders and persons that could have a good and important impact for the application of the upcoming Biosphere initiative. Päivi, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. I already met yesterday evening some of you, but a short introduction now to you all. I'm Päivi Halinen. I'm now here speaking on behalf of the ProPäijänne Association, but I have done my daily work in environmental authority or administration nearly 40 years, and I'm free from that now. So I had to find some new things to do, and promoting this Päijänne area branding or developing to a sustainable direction felt good to me. So now I'm part in a ProPäijänne association, kind of a board member, but also a kind of advisor in the association. The association was established in 2015. It was established by enterprises in Muurame municipality, just beside Jyväskylä, and the enterprises started establishing the association by asking the authorities that where is this biosphere now? Where is it? Why isn't it accomplished, the activities? And they were worried about and interested in doing things sustainably. And I was still working in the environmental authority, and I said, it's not true that the enterprises come to discuss about sustainability and wanting this biosphere. And then it was a meeting, an authority meeting, where we discussed that what should be the ways to encourage these enterprises and this association to continue the work. And now they have a project going on. I tell you a little bit about it, but the main thing I'm telling you now is about the Lake Päijänne, how it looks like, what it's inside it and around it. And for you, after this to think about what is your opinions, what could be your instructions, what would be your comments on how we should do forward. Is it at all a good idea to try to follow these earlier speakers and try to get this biosphere UNESCO nomination to this area? I think the earlier speakers were excellent, and I'm sorry now I will repeat some of the parts what they already said, but maybe it's good to repeat these things anyway. We have been in connection to, especially to the Finnish archipelago biosphere area. We've been doing work with Katja for years, and we've been really well informed from the Swedish biosphere areas, and we have been kind of candidate area in the Nord map meetings, and therefore we feel like part of the network already, but now we ought to be able to sell it here locally. So we'll start. So I tell you about the initiative. It isn't a new thing at all here. So a little bit about the history. First of all, something about the Lake Päijänne. It's the second largest lake in Finland. It's close to Helsinki metropolitan areas and the cities of Lahti and Jyväskylä. The lake has already a lot of touristic values, recreational values. It's an important place for people living around it, but there are lots of pressures also. Development pressures which are situated in the big cities, mainly around Jyväskylä and Lahti in the southern end of the lake. And then changes in rural areas. And the changes in rural areas are not only very positive, but also a lot of young people leaving the municipalities, and the age structure in small municipalities around Lake Päijänne also becomes very, there are old people, and also the livelihood and the structure of enterprises is kind of not so varied in the rural areas. Also, Päijänne, being a big lake, is located in the areas of two regions, two provinces, Central Finland and Päijät-Häme. Well, the story of the initiative started already 10 years ago, around 2007, 2008, when there was a small EU-funded project. It was around the whole lake, also Päijät-Häme was within it, and it was studied whether the Lake Päijänne would have the preconditions to be established as a UNESCO biosphere area. And there were questions asked whether it should be established, what kind of activities there could be. And in the report, the front page you can see here, there were only options for the activities presented, not any ready-made answers, but lot of options, a lot of possibilities. There were a lot of stakeholders participated in the project, around 100. There were municipalities, different kind of authorities, enterprises, universities, schools, and other stakeholders. And as a result of the study or the project, major parts were positive for continuing the process of biosphere, but then there were 9 rather strict statements which were not, or kind of opposed the biosphere. And somehow it was the time, we felt that the time wasn't ready yet for the biosphere then here. And it was left kind to be asleep for a while. Until now, to 2015, in the end, the enterprises brought it up. And then it was thought that if really enterprises were interested in it, then we should think it once more over. And it was an excellent opportunity now, this situation that the Union of Baltic Cities were assembling here, and at the same time the Universities of Applied Sciences are preparing now a new project to look forward what to do with the lake. Yeah, 10 years ago, there were 2 options for bordering the area. A little bit about the history now of the lake. I go them loosely according to the UNESCO criteria. And you can see it's quite a huge area. Even the water surface area of the lake is over 1,000 square kilometers. And then one option for the bordering of the area, because UNESCO, it's not necessary the borders for the activity. It's necessary to show the UNESCO where the area is where you are acting. So we thought one simple way to border the area would be the administrational borders of municipalities. And the other one, which isn't so clear in the map, is a border of water catchment area, or the area where the waters flow towards Lake Päijänne. And the municipality border area is 8,500 square kilometers, so it's big. We didn't have the area of these other, well, the Estonian area is huge, measured by surface. But measured by people, I think Lake Päijänne surpasses all the others. So if the Lake Päijänne, according to the municipality administrational borders, would be taken, there should be over 300,000 people living in it. And it would surely fulfill the criteria of variation in intensity of human activity in the area, because there are these big cities and then there's total emptiness in the area. The water catchment area, which is a little bit difficult because you cannot see it in the ground, is 3,000 square kilometers and about over 100,000 inhabitants would be living in there. Okay. Also, once we have this map there, Jyväskylä, if the area is about over 300,000 people living there, Jyväskylä city has 138,000 people at the moment, and I looked at Lahti has something about around almost 120,000. So they are quite similar sized. Lahti is in the southern end, Jyväskylä is in the northern end of the area. And if you add up Jyväskylä and Lahti, it would be more than 250,000 people, and about 50,000 people would be left around in the other municipalities, which are 10. So there are totally 12 municipalities around the lake. and the other municipalities are rather small. The smallest is Luhanka municipality in the southern central Finland, with 800 people living there. They are happy if one child is born every year in the municipality. So there's huge differences in it. And the big cities, they are growing, they are drawing people, they are drawing also young people from the small municipalities, and the smaller municipalities are kind of fading down. And one idea would be that we could kind of enhance the livelihood in the whole area by these biosphere activities. One thing we have to now take up in this connection, that now when 10 years has gone, there has been discussions with many parties, not parties, but many stakeholders, many municipalities, a lot of people, and there are now 2 interested municipalities added up to these 12. It's one, we can't see them in the map now very well, but one is upstream, the waters, is Konnevesi municipality, which is really interested in biosphere activities. They have the newest national park, a really fine Etelä-Konnevesi National Park there in the area. And another possible interested municipality is west from Jyväskylä, Päijänne municipality. They have a really fine UNESCO church, which they would want to connect more to sustainable tourism. So there should be a kind of new thinking about even the borders of the area. But then a little bit more about the lake itself. One big thing is that over 1 million people drink daily the water of the lake Päijänne in the Helsinki metropolitan area, and that's not a small thing. Actually, it should be wise to walk to the Helsinki and ask support for them, because it's we here who are keeping up the water for them. Päijänne is also a really good example for good results in prevention of water pollution and restoring good water quality, because the next picture I show you shows that we have a quite dark history in the Lake Päijänne also, which has to be remembered. So there are 3 periods of time or years where the water quality has been measured. Something in '69. You cannot see the small, and this is a little bit bad now, these maps, because the colors have also been varied, but the darkest blue is excellent water quality, then it's good, satisfactory is in the 2 left side maps, this color is satisfactory, and yellow is inferior, and orange is poor. And you can see also the small signs of paper or forestry, forest mills, paper mills, pulp mills around Lake Päijänne, and the water quality earlier was really bad. But then onwards from the 80s, there were a lot of work in cooperation with the forestry firms, with municipalities, with different stakeholders, with authorities, with new legislation and new ways of handling the permitting of the mills, and the water quality has improved remarkably. Now it's good in all parts of the lake. And now when the EU has come to the picture we have this Water Framework Directive, which makes that the water quality has to be kind of measured by ecological state. So these colors are now a little bit different, but the green, what shows the whole Lake Päijänne, shows that the ecological water quality in the Lake Päijänne is good in the whole area. And that's what we want to keep it also. But it's not self-evident anyhow, this good quality. Even though Päijänne is a big lake, it has a lot of water. By volume, measured by volume, Lake Päijänne is the biggest lake in Finland. So it has the big water volume, makes it also a little bit more resistant to the small changes. But still, there are a lot of paper mills, paper industry, pulp industry, and I don't know if there were any discussions yesterday, but in Äänekoski, in the northern part above the upstream from the Lake Päijänne, there is a big investment going on for a new bio production factory. So bioeconomy is important, like Hannu told us earlier. It's one of the major objectives for the future in central Finland. And so there are things to be discussed, and also one idea to have a kind of table for discussion is the idea of the biosphere, to collect these people. But before this, something about the biodiversity in the lake. So Päijänne is really important in the meaning of biodiversity. It's because of two major things. It has a huge topographical differences. The bedrock is very good for having special species and habitats in it. Typical for Päijänne is the rocks and cliffs on the shoreline. We have also these fine Eskö Islands in the middle, a picture from Päijänne National Park, but also these old growth forests and really fine forests on the shoreline. The bedrock and the water mass makes also that the microclimatical situation in the Lake Päijänne is an exception from the surrounding areas. So the season for plants to grow is longer around the Lake Päijänne than elsewhere in the same latitude. There are also a lot of important species according to EU Habitat Directive. We have priority species, especially this flying squirrel, where the Finland is kind of a responsibility land. Estonia has a small population of flying squirrel, but Finland is responsible for this species. Also, Päijänne is an exceptional area that it has a huge size. It is a meeting place for the northern species and the southern species. For instance, hazel grows in its northernmost place in Jyväskylä city administrational area today. And also the species, for instance, this alpine saxifrage in the right, it is a species of Lapland, but because of the circumstances in the Lake Päijänne, it's growing also in the cliffs of the lake. But we have also a really fine network of protected areas. We have 3 national parks, Leivonmäki, Isojärvi and Päijänne. Leivonmäki is in a nowadays, can I show it from here? Yeah. In nowadays Joutsa municipality, but it has the name of the former municipality. Isojärvi is in Kuhmoinen municipality, and then Päijänne National Park is in Päijät-Häme in the areas of Padasjoki, Sysmä and Asikkala. And also we have a lot of Natura 2000 areas, which is a common network of protected areas in all EU countries. Over 100 areas and 46,000 hectares. So we have a fine network of areas which are already there and which are really little used. Even the national parks could be used more. And if we add up Konnevesi, there would be the 4th national park to this group. A little bit different area. We have also a lot of cultural heritage. Cultural heritage in the form it can be expressed in Finland. But the historical importance of the area is that the water has been the route for human settlement in the area. And we have signs of human settlement from the Stone Age around the lake. But there are also many other cultural heritage values. There is a Struve geodetic arc going through Finland, going through many other countries also, from the Arctic Ocean to Black Sea. But one of the sites chosen to be in the UNESCO World Heritage Site is situated in the beside Lake Päijänne at Oravivuori mountain, like we call our hills, also in Jyväskylä, nowadays Jyväskylä administration. And the other picture is a little bit newer cultural heritage, Alvar Aalto's Säynätsalo Town Hall, maybe a future World Heritage Site. So we have a cluster maybe of World Heritage also here, because Alvar Aalto's main production is situated in Jyväskylä, almost 30 buildings by him, and it's a huge value for tourism. But we have also archaeological sites, landscape values, traditional rural landscapes, which were really nicely expressed in the presentations of earlier speakers, which are really delicate. Some pictures from the Lake Päijänne. We have rock paintings at least in 3 places in Päijänne, which resembled from the earlier human settlement, but landscapes and these traditional buildings still here. We have research. UNESCO expects that research is a really important part, and Jyväskylä is known from its schools. It has a long tradition from Jyväskylä being a school town. But the whole Päijänne area, we have 2 universities. Helsinki University site is located in Lahti in the southern end, and Jyväskylä has behind you a really fine biological and environmental department. And then we have universities of applied sciences in Lahti and Jyväskylä, and these are now really important in the context of the biosphere preparation also. We have also other schools preparing for profession, Humak, Alkio College, And then Finnish Environment Institute is also sitting here behind us. And the idea would be to connect the schools and the research to support this livelihood, support enterprises to find solutions for their problems and to enhance more sustainable livelihood. Already now there are a lot of projects with capacity building for enterprises from the schools, especially the applied sciences universities, and cooperation with the stakeholders in the region. Environmental education is really strong in the area. The national coordination of environmental education, or even environmental awareness would be the correct word. Central Finland ELY Center, I don't know if you know the ELY Center, it's the Economic Development, Transport and the Environment Centers which are working in the region, who is taking care of the national coordination, and Tanya is the person here who is responsible for the coordination. There is also regional cooperation networks for environmental awareness, both in Central Finland and Päijänne. We have 5 development centers for environmental education, and we have this kind of idea of promotion of eco-schools certification. It's Vihreä Lippu certifiointi, which would be enhanced in the area. So we have a lot of potential to do things in education sector. Then we have already named 2 of first biosphere enterprises. The other one was already mentioned before. Järkisärki is a real innovative biosphere product made by 2 persons, Komppa Seppälä, it's a couple, wife and husband. It says actually the husband is doing this Järkisärki fishing. Järkisärki, if you don't know, we already yesterday ate something made from roach, which is really undervalued fish. And now, before it was caught up from the lake and it was put into compost, or it was eaten by animals. But now we eat as a delicacy, and it's competing Nordic food price at the moment. And Katja, in your artisan price, it has got already. Okay. But also because we are in the area of bioeconomy, and forestry is the main income in big areas, we have also an enterprise called Nokka Machines. They wanted to be with us discussing the biosphere, because they see that they make small machines, like you see maybe in the picture. It's really small. It can go around the trees, not harming the environment, working in a delicate environment. And they want to be with us to think of new ways of sustainable forestry. They have also this bigger idea of finding new markets from outside. So they want to see if there would be possibilities to export these fine machines. For instance, in Japan, where they are thinking about taking into use those forests which are in the really hard conditions in the mountain areas. This kind of small machines could be suitable also there. But then also we have cities and municipalities making a lot of work for sustainability. You have heard of resource wisdom. We have biogas production. We have promotion of sustainable use of cultural heritage. We have already now existing municipalities around Lake Päijänne which belong to carbon neutral project. They are so-called Hinku municipalities. And then more active work for sustainability. There were also already expressed that people, NGOs, they want to work sustainably and they want to promote sustainable things. And there is one big reason why a biosphere status could bring a permanent table, a platform for cross-sectoral discussion and problem solving in the area. It would be a kind of place where NGOs, enterprises, municipalities, schools could gather together to solve problems instead of going into corners and be silent and throwing with small stones, if you can say so. And I think the third sector support to sustainable development effort would be huge in the area. It already is. Only some mentionings about these NGOs, this ProPäijänne association, which is established to promote this status of biosphere. Then we have Päijänne Natural Heritage Fund, which is acquiring by voluntary purchasing land to protection. JAPA has been promoting for a long time sustainable development on grassroots level in Jyväskylä area. And there are several projects going on to find sustainable solutions. What could be the added value from the status? Like we want to see, it's an umbrella for accelerating synergy and coordination in different activities in the area. It's an international and national recognition of the area and the natural and cultural values here. And now it's popular kind of branding. Even if it doesn't sound so good, it's a reality that areas want to brand themselves to be seen differently from others. And also the increasing interest towards the area, increased funding possibilities and investments in future. I'm stopping now. But also it's the global network which we could get instantly into use. Cooperation with other biospheres. And it's a huge opportunity now to listen to the Baltic area biospheres. And that could be a very natural connection in the future to discuss with the areas of similar problems. It's possibilities to enterprises to export products, capacity building, knowledge, sharing good ideas, innovation, research cooperation, and student exchange, for instance. It's huge possibilities. And I think the bioeconomy in all its shapes could be a vast possibility to develop the area in a totally new way. From wildwood food, for instance, green care, and anything in between. It's only imagination to limit this. This is maybe the spot of central Finland. It's the Varunvuori area, Natura area around the lake Päijänne, a really hot spot for biodiversity. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Päivi. Really nice, really lovely pictures you have here in the end. So definitely this looks good. Just want to remind you here that all these presentations and all the whole streaming sessions you will find on our homepage and on UBC's YouTube video portal and so on. So use them and think about it. It's good to go back and repeat what we have been here. But now I know that Satu has a program point here.
So Satu will continue to give you advice or guidance how to work.
Before the workshop and before the lunch,